Hi, I'm Nick Salucci for BU Now Radio. Do you trust your government? Last week, it was discovered that the National Security Association, or the NSA, has secretly instituted programs allowing the US government to gather and analyze all cell phone and internet metadata. What is metadata, you ask? It's a bit of a complex concept, but for simplicity's sake, just think of it as data about data. Basically, what's going on is this. Everything that anyone says or does on their cell phone or on the internet is under surveillance and has been for over a decade. Since September 11, 2001, laws have been put into place that seem to justify the legality of the surveillance. If you haven't already heard about this, you might be thinking right now that this whole ordeal sounds very creepy. And you wouldn't be alone, as many people are very upset that our Fourth Amendment rights, which protect Americans from unwarranted searches such as these, are being violated. Furthermore, people are simply unnerved by the idea that the US government is monitoring their digital lives. Where did this information suddenly come from? Well, recently 29-year-old Edward Snowden, former technical assistant for the CIA, decided to leak two government documents to British news source The Guardian. One was a court order ordering Verizon to turn over all call data in their system on a daily basis. The other detailed Project Prism, which allows the government access to all major internet servers. From there they have free range of all photos, video chats, emails, documents, search terms, and more. Snowden has since fled the country, first seeking asylum in Hong Kong because of their, quote, spirited commitment to free speech. He was then advised not to remain in Hong Kong due to risk of extradition, and as of June 11th his whereabouts are unknown. But Snowden gave up everything, including a high-paying government job and a house in Hawaii. His identity was revealed by The Guardian at his request, since he firmly believes he has done nothing wrong. He says he carefully selected the two documents that he released because he thought that it was in the best interest of the American people, and he wished not to do any harm to the American government. Many praise Snowden for being a hero, bringing this violation of our human rights to light. Many others, however, are calling Snowden a traitor for compromising US security, since the reason that these programs exist in the first place is to monitor possible terrorist activity. President Obama has said a few things about the issue, the main one being that, quote, I think it's important to understand that you can't have 100% security and then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience. We're going to have to make some choices as a society, end quote. Obama is essentially asking Americans to accept these policies without question in the interest of their security. Now, these programs were instituted so that possible terrorist activity could be tracked and thwarted. The NSA scours metadata looking to connect phone numbers with terrorism, and according to government statistics, dozens of acts of terror were stopped before they ever started. These claims look pretty valid, seeing as how only two major acts of terror have been committed on US soil since 9/11. But can we really attribute this to the NSA's surveillance? It surely can't be solely to thank, even if these claims are true. So what does all of this mean? After all, in a world in which we share pretty much everything with everyone through social media, is this invasion of privacy any different? Well, yes, because we're now aware of what the government is capable of doing. As of right now, that no one is actually listening into our phone calls and reading our private emails is something we can be relatively confident in. This is what we've been told anyway. But imagine for a moment if that were to change. There is very legitimate cause for concern over the extent to which we may be watched in the future. Even before this information was leaked, concerns had been raised over the FBI monitoring and targeting anti-war protesters and political opposition, law-abiding citizens. Finally, there's no getting around the fact that regardless of the benefits to national security, the US government has been violating constitutional rights for over a decade now. This information gathering has been occurring without our consent, leading many to distrust the government. So what do you think? Is Snowden a hero or a traitor? Is our security more important than our privacy and our rights? Should we be worried about where this government activity will lead in the future? Please feel free to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Again, I'm Nick Salucci. Thank you so much for listening to BU Now Radio, and I hope you tune in again.